Elena and Elijah. I am so sorry that you guys haven't been feeling well, but you are both very brave and I'm very proud of you. So I decided that I was going to make it a priority of mine to read at least a little bit of Make Room for Elisa to you tonight, and I thought I would let you know the reason my hair is wet is, as you can see, it's raining outside. That's why my hair's all wet. Can you believe it? Okay, now if you remember where we left off last time, Elisa had broken her mother's vase that was a special wedding gift, and she had just asked her brother Russell if he could help her glue it back together again. So let's see what happens. It's Mom's little vase, Russell guessed when he saw the pieces. I broke it, Elisa whispered. Does she know? Russell whispered back, even though the two were alone in the room. Elisa shook her head. Tears welled in her eyes. I just wanted to put a little water in it, she told him. I bet I can fix it, said Russell. He went to look for his glue. Then he sat down at the little table in their room and spread out all of the pieces. Is all of it here? He asked. I think so, said Elisa hopefully. She was sure she hadn't left any in the sink. Russell looked through all the pieces until he found two that fit together. He carefully spread a bit of glue on each piece and attached them. Elisa noticed that the little flowers on the china joined and became whole, just like when she worked on a jigsaw puzzle. She began looking in the pile of fragments to help her brother match the pieces. Russell had to wait until the bits of china held fast before he could attach the next piece. When it was supper time, the vase was only half put together, but already Elisa was feeling better. Russell left the pieces to dry while they ate. Elisa ate all of her hamburger and a whole ear of corn. Now that it looked as if Russell was going to succeed in repairing the vase, her appetite had returned. After supper, Russell glued the remaining pieces together. Elisa thought it was almost like magic to see the little broken pieces turning back into the pretty vase. Oh, Russell, you're so smart, said Elisa admiringly. Russell nodded in agreement. I did a pretty good job, he said proudly, but it has to dry overnight. He hid the vase on the shelf behind his models. I smell modeling glue, remarked Mr. Michaels when he came into the bedroom before the children went to sleep. Yeah, said Russell. What are you making this time? Asked his father. Oh, just something, said Russell. It's a surprise, added Elisa. Oh, good, said Mr. Michaels. I love surprises. Like the baby, said Elisa. That's going to be a surprise. Yes, it is, agreed her father, and he gave them each a good-night kiss. In the morning, the vase was completely dry. You had to look very closely to see the tiny lines where it had been broken. Russell gave the vase to Elisa. You better tell Mom now and get it over with, he said. Elisa nodded her head. She went into the kitchen holding the vase. What are you doing with that? Asked her mother. I thought we packed it away yesterday. We did, but I took it out of the box, said Elisa, and then I broke it. It was an accident. I didn't do it on purpose. Now that she was telling, the words all seemed to rush out of her mouth. You broke it? It looks fine to me, said Mrs. Michaels. That's because Russell did such a good job fixing it, said Elisa. Mrs. Michaels took the vase and examined it. Russell, she called out sharply. Elisa felt awful. It was bad enough that she had done such a terrible thing. She didn't mean to get Russell into trouble, too. Russell came into the kitchen. Russell, this is the best job you've done yet, said his mother, admiring his handiwork. I can't believe how well you matched up these pieces. That takes great skill. Russell beamed. It wasn't so hard, he said. Elisa helped me match up the pieces. I'm especially proud of you for helping Elisa. I like it when the two of you cooperate and help each other." Elisa smiled with relief. Her mother wasn't angry with them at all. "If Russell's violin broke," Mrs. Michaels said, "he might be able to glue it together, but the music wouldn't sound the same afterward. And the same with this vase. It almost looks like new, Elisa, but perhaps it won't be able to hold water without leaking. You must think twice about touching things, and remember to be more careful in the future." Mrs. Michaels paused for a moment, thinking. "Especially with the new baby. I handled you very carefully when you were newborn babies, and you're going to need to do the same with your little sister or brother." "I will," said Russell. "I will too," said Elisa. "I'll be careful, I promise." She gave her mother a hug, which wasn't easy these days, as her mother had grown so big with the new baby inside of her. "I know you will," said Mrs. Michaels. "Our baby is going to be very lucky to have such a nice big brother and sister as both of you." And that's the end of a chapter. And here's an illustration of Elisa. So sorry about the wet hair and the thunderstorm, as you can see above my head, but I sure hope you guys are feeling better. I miss you and love you very much. See you next time when we make room for Elisa.